Hi everyone, it's Laura Clark, your Soul Wise Living Mentor here supporting you to learn how to step out of overwhelm and overthinking and into following your own light and living your truth and fully loving your life once and for all. I'm going to post into the link, the follow along guide. Good morning, Sherry. It's an odd fall day here in New England. It's a little humid, a little chilly, overcast, and it is Columbus Day, so many people have time off. I don't know if you are having time off or if you're up and at it, but whatever you're doing, I hope that you are living your truth. I'm really excited about today because this is the fourth video in this series, and it really culminates everything we were talking about last week. Last week we were talking about the four elements. We were talking about our purpose. We were talking about creating a soul success system for yourself. And today we're going to talk about really when you hit that big obstacle in the road, what to do to overcome it. So it really culminates using a lot of what we learned last week, as well as maybe a new tool to tweak on. And so we have so much to do. I also, Sherry's saying she has the same kind of day, a little rain. I guess, the world needs rain, right? I am also going to invite you later on to see and hear and understand a little bit more about the Living Your Truth Sisterhood. So I hope that you're inspired to learn all of these things today. I've got some notes here. Okay, I did the action guide link. Do that. Great. One of the things that I know in my life, good morning, Carol, welcome. One of the things that I know fully in life is that in order to step up and step out, you need support. Support is that foundational piece in our lives that gives us stability to grow from. And I know fully too well what life is like when you don't have that foundation underneath you to bolster you, to support you. I know full well when you don't have your own spiritual foundation and when you don't have foundation around you where you can get that support and guidance and love and just people holding sacred space for you. So we're going to talk a lot about support. And one thing it is, in the follow along guide, I define it as upholding and defending as valid or right, to endure bravely, right, and to assist. And that when you look at support from that frame of mind, from that reference, to endure bravely, well, when you endure, you want to have love and light around you. You don't want to be standing alone. To uphold and defend, to stand and support your own truth takes courage, and it takes that foundational piece. So we'll be talking a lot about that as well. But I want to just do a quick review from last week in case you're here live and you haven't had a chance to watch the first three videos in the series. The first one, we were talking about the four element theory, and that is where our thoughts, our emotions, our physical being, and our spiritual being are wrapped into our humanness, and using air, wind, fire, and water to recognize how we are reacting. Because I would much rather respond to life than react to it. So when we become our sacred observer, when we can step out and see how our emotions are playing up and how we respond with them versus reacting to, responding with versus reacting to, we can allow things to flow where overwhelm gets simplified. We can allow things to flow where we're not overthinking. We're making a choice and we're firm and committed to that choice. When we allow some movement along the way, but we are confirmed to that path. Good morning, Marie. Welcome. I hope all's well in your neck of the woods. Who says that? Who says that? One of the forecasters. I can't remember. Anyway, So Sherry's saying responding versus reacting is a powerful perspective shift. It absolutely is. It absolutely is. So that was what we did on Monday. On Wednesday, we talked about our purpose and going deep into discovering why it is we descended down here to live this human life, and looking at our experiences and finding the golden thread that runs through all that we've done that creates this understanding of our own unique purpose. And then how to interact with that in all that we do, how to bring our purpose when you're into the world, when you're marketing, when you are showering, when you are on vacation, when you are at work, when you're talking with an aging parent or aunt or uncle, when you're working with your kids, right? How do you bring your purpose and weave it into all that you do? I was on the treadmill the other day at the gym, and somebody was huffing and puffing and really angry and just walking out of anger. And I looked over and he looked at me and we kind of got into this little conversation. And I said, "Well, what lights you up? What why are you here?" And he's like, "Because I had a heart attack about 5 years ago, and I want to be here for my kids." And I said, "Well, how old are your kids?" And they're teenagers. And I said, "Oh, that's great, man, boy or girl?" And girl, I said, "Well, don't you want to walk her down the aisle someday?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he just lightened up because that was his purpose. His purpose for being there was to take care of himself so that he could be the best possible parent. And it just lightened his load. So my purpose is to awaken wisdom within. And I can't be on a treadmill with somebody angry next to me without supporting them to lighten their load. So, Al Roker, yes. What's going on in your neck of the woods? Here's what's going on in your, thank you, Sherry. Al Roker. So we talked about the 4-element theory, we talked about our sacred purpose, and then we talked about creating a soul success system, right? We have systems in our lives for healthy eating, wellness, for in our work. We follow systems. We follow systems for packing the bag to go for a weekend away. We have systems for errands. I have a particular system that allows me to go with traffic versus against traffic when I'm doing errands, so there's more ease and grace in my life. So we have systems all around us, but nobody really thinks of creating their own soul success system, right? And that's really vital because and we're going to talk about this later, is when those big obstacles come in our way, we have to be able to quickly and easily grab from our toolbox and have them work. My big guy is a carpenter, right? And he doesn't go off to a job without fine-tuning his tools, without sharpening his saw. And that's what we do with the soul success system. We're sharpening our saw, all right? So that's really, really, really important. So what supports you in getting and staying out of overwhelm? We're going back to that support. What supports you? In the Living Your Truth Sisterhood, we go through in detail those pieces of content that I've shared last week. We go into the 4-element theory and we go hard on how to use water to understand and soothe our emotions. We go in and we connect with earth energy and learn how that can support us to stand strong and true to living our truth. Because if you're using your physical self, it's really hard to stand tall and true if you're down here like this, right? But if you stand tall and true and you use earth energy to support that, you can live your truth more fully. So we do that. In the foundational content, it's made up of the 4-element theory. It's made up of your purpose. Oh my goodness, it's gold. The purpose content, how to really go deep and find your purpose and look at your core values and Discover that kernel of light that's within that brings your truth forward. The third foundational piece of content is that soul success system and the worksheets that go with it in order to realign yourself and practice what you're going to be preaching, right? You practice connecting to spirit and source so that you can easily and effortlessly access that truth wherever you are, whatever obstacles put in your place. So that's the foundational content pieces in the Live in Your Truth Sisterhood. And then we're going to talk about one of the bonus things that people get when they come into the Living Your Truth Sisterhood is bonus material, not just the monthly content that's given out, but we have, every once in a while I throw in a bonus event, if you will. So a couple of months ago, we did this. We talked about your personal meta, and I'll talk about meta in a moment. Meta is really important to being able to get into a place where you're not letting yourself react, but you're letting yourself respond. Okay. So let me talk a little bit about we also had some raffle items, right? So Marie Mason, you won the raffle in the first video. And if you go back to the second video, I'm not sure you've seen it, but you might be surprised at winning another raffle. But when on Friday we talked about the soul success system, and I was offering up a passion planner. Ooh, the light's bad on that, but a passion planner which helps you define that system for yourself. It also helps you define your life. And it's a great resource. And Megan Peck, look at, I already have your name on there. You won this. You just need to reach out into a private message and we will connect to get that to you. And the other thing, which is really cool, is that there is a new moon tonight. So this is going to go on my board that helps support new moon energy, help support things, my crystals, my oracle cards, all of my tools I put out to get that manifestation energy that the new moon brings. And this is going to go on there for you too before I wrap it up to send it off. You're very welcome, Megan. And congrats to Meg. You're welcome, Marie, and congrats to Megan. Great. So let me ask you to close your eyes for just a second. And ask yourself, what twerks me? A twerk is that tweak that catches you, that brings you into your humanness, the judgment, the indignation, the things that bring you into that place where compassion has to take a step back. What twerks you? So take a moment and discover that. What really twerks you? And yes, Sherry, it is a purple piece of paper on the Passion Planner. Purple piece of paper on the Passion Planner, because that is my favorite color. What twerks you? What stops you in your tracks? And not in a good way, not in a way of, oh, there's a sign. Not in the way of, oh, isn't that beautiful? But what twerks you? What really, really gets to you? Is it dishonesty? Where are your core values, right? And where is that showing up that somebody else isn't living? Is it dishonesty? Is it not looking at options, not looking at possibilities when somebody's being closed-minded? Is it when life isn't being fair, right? That's not fair. Is it being unfair to a specific group, children, seniors? What really stops you, and what brings you to your knees, and you just say, oh my God, just stop. that's what we're going to talk about. You know, we're going to talk about how to, when that happens, how do you realign yourself to allow compassion to flow, to vibrate up, instead of letting that sit so heavily on your shoulders and weigh you down so you can't see possibilities, so you can't live your own truth. It truly unsteadies you. Sherry's saying dishonesty is a huge one for her. And Marie says, I would say self-doubt and fear of failure, or even fear of success. Yeah, and fear of failure and success are really, as polar opposite of as they are, they're all the same in so many different ways, right? So once you realize, and Sherry's saying she gets irritated when she hears people dishonest to others or worse. People questioning your own integrity and your own honesty. Oh my gosh, yeah, in spades. Somebody questions my integrity, and I'm just like, oh, somebody, in one of my groups, I invited, somebody came in, right, and I welcomed them, and they sent me a private message. She goes, I didn't invite myself into the group. And I said, well, that's funny, because the settings are such that I'm the only one that can let you into that group after an invitation. And she said to me, she said, well, she goes, you could just invite me in. I know the Facebook settings. I said, yes, I could have just added you, but I don't do that. I do not do that, because I know how it irritates me to be invited into other groups or be added into other groups without my being asked. And she's a relative close friend of mine, and she really was questioning my integrity, and it torqued me. And I needed to come back to compassion space and see it from what was it tweaking in me, and how was I reacting to that, rather than responding. And once I did, I was able to, allow things to seamlessly go forward. So Sherry's saying, what to annoy me? Question my expense report. That used to send me to the roof. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Integrity and money, right? Integrity and money, sure. And Susan joined us, so welcome, Susan. So when these twerks happen, we want to realign. We want to find support to realign, to allow ourselves to be the sacred observer, and allow ourselves to live our truth and to fully start loving our life instead of being twerked in it, right? I spent years in the state of being twerked, and that just served no one. I was judgmental. I didn't understand why people didn't want to follow the things that I was doing and the way I was doing things, and that served no one. So we really need, when we're the sacred observer of our own twerkness, then it's really important for us to get back to ourselves, and that's where developing your personal meta is. And we did a deep dive with this in the Living Your Truth Sisterhood, and I'm going to put up the Living Your Truth Sisterhood website so that you can go see exactly what it's all about. As I talk about what we did, there you go. There you are. In the special event that we had within the sisterhood, and I believe that was the end of August already. Oh my gosh. We talked about personal metta. Metta is about sending love and light and compassion to yourself, and then sending it out into the world. And we spent time looking at our own personal metta, how to feel safe and supported at times when we're twerked. And, twerked times can come to us, just when somebody says something to us. Or I had an obstacle placed in front of me first thing Saturday morning, which shifted my whole weekend. And I really needed to be centered and supportive of what was going on around that obstacle. I really needed to be centered, supported, and support others, and not do it in a judgmental way, because that would serve no one. So developing your personal meta is really about defining what is most important for you to feel safe and supported, and then using that meta in your life as a tool so that it comes to you very quickly. So meta meditation goes something like this: may I be supported, may I be loved, may I be cared for, may I feel safe. And then once you get there, you send it out. May so-and-so feel supported, may so-and-so feel safe, may so-and-so feel loved. And then you can send it out to a community. And there's a long, involved way of doing this. But your personal meta is finding those words where you can say this to yourself and quickly get into alignment. And I'm also of the ilk that may I might give you the answer of no, I can't have it. May I have $1 million? Well, no, you can't have that today, Laura. May I take the whole day off? Well, no, you may not, Laura, because you've made some commitments for business today. However, if I chose, I could say, I am a millionaire, and look for the millionaire abundance in my life. I could say, I am taking the day off, and say, okay, well, where are my commitments? How can I minimize those to take them off? When we say I am versus may I, we command that to us. So instead of saying, may I be supported, I am supported. Instead of saying, may I be loved, I am loved. Instead of saying, may I be safe, I am safe. So you're getting a hint at what my own personal meta is, and I'll share that in a moment with you. All right. Sherry is saying that the personal meta exercise was so good. I still have them stuck on my laptop, so I remember it. Yes, Sherry is one of our Living Your Truth sisters, so I'm so glad that that's resonating with you. And Marie's saying meta, figuring out your own personal meta so we can feel safe. Yes. So once you have that meta, once you have that, you start saying it over and over wherever you go. I love that walking puts you into a cadence, or yoga puts you into a place where you can just say affirmations over and over again. You can invoke this meta so that it becomes part of your DNA. The short story is, I was training for a race in Boston when the Boston bombings came on. The race was weeks later, and I tripped, and I twisted my ankle, and I fell down to my knees, and I cried because I didn't feel safe. The world just was crumbling around New England when the Boston bombings, they hadn't found the bombers yet, and I didn't feel safe. And I recovered, I got up, I started walking again, and I just started saying, I am safe, I am safe, I am safe. And then the walk went into a jog, and before I knew it, my ankle felt fine. And I had gone back past my driveway, and I actually did 2 more miles than I had intended to do in the first place. So you're able to get into that place of really supporting yourself and getting back to centeredness. Sherry is saying, I would say that may I is similar to not in terms of the universe not hearing that statement. Yes, exactly. Exactly. You know, the universe, the universe hears our positivity. They don't hear our question, right? They hear when our vibration is strong. The universe feels the disconnect, the discord within, and isn't sure what to deliver to you. So the may I, it may deliver something that you're not quite sure of. So in this case, may I feel safe. If I had kept saying that, I don't think I would have gotten centered around the day of the Boston bombings. However, I am safe. I am safe. That resonated. And man, oh man, I just felt fully engulfed with the arms of the angels supporting me. I got back into my home or even down the driveway, and I felt a different energy around my home. There just was so much more support. And, you know, we started off talking about support. Support is so important, whether you find it within, which is a foundation that's important, or whether you find it from others in they're allowing themselves to hold sacred space for you to find what that truth is. And that's the best part about a sisterhood, is that you have people holding sacred space for you to find that truth and asking those discerning questions of you so that you go a little deeper. You take that next layer of onion off and discover that within. I am all about empowering yourself, you, to discover the answers. And that's what makes me a great coach. I'm able to ask the right questions that allow you to open up to the possibilities and create the path forward with opportunities so that you're not stuck in the obstacles. So using your meta meditation is really invaluable. And when we can get to that place of feeling, so my meta meditation is, I am safe, I am supported, I am strong, I am successful, I am spirit. And that comes to me, it's on the tip of my tongue whenever I feel twerked. Whenever I feel twerked. Let me repeat that. It comes to the tip of my tongue whenever I feel twerked, because I've worked on it. It's a tool. This meta meditation is a tool. And as Sherry was saying, we did this in the sisterhood, and it's really resonating with a lot of people. It's coming to the tips of their tongues so that when they're twerked, they can easily become their own sacred observers. So for me, this weekend, I had an obstacle put in front of me, and a dear, dear friend of mine had a massive heart attack. And I needed to navigate the time with their spouse. I needed to honor the spouse's choices when I really wanted to do something different, when I really wanted to support in a different way. I needed to take my own twerkness out, and I kept saying, I am safe, I am supported, I am strong, I am successful in this, I am spirit. And once I was able to do that, I could then send it to somebody. I could send it to the spouse. I could send it to the individual who had this massive heart attack, and allow things to align for everybody's highest good. So these are the tools that we all need to create and to sharpen our saws, to get more support for ourselves, to sharpen the saws, to move forward from, to practice while creating our soul success system. So Marie is telling us when she fell and broke her arm in January, she was mentally telling herself it was not broken, did not work. Yeah, and you know, if it's broken, it's kind of broken, right? There's the reality versus our own creative visualization around it, and sometimes we need to marry that. It took 4 months for the bones to heal, and now I need to heal the fingers as they are still swollen. Yeah. And you type and you still go on and doing your day. It's just hard to open jars. So basically, Marie is saying, I'm saying words of affirmation when you're twerked. Yes and no. Okay. Words of affirmation only work when they come from your inner wisdom. Okay? So somebody could tell me, Laura, you want to work around abundance? Just say you're a happy, healthy millionaire. Like over and over and over again. I am a happy, healthy millionaire. I'm a happy, healthy millionaire. And I could say that, right? I could say that that's an affirmation and the universe is going to rearrange itself for me. But if I don't believe it, it's not going to happen. If there's discord in your affirmation, it's not going to happen. Okay? So you can even take what I'm saying from the may I be safe, to I am safe. You have to still believe the I am safe. You have to bring those words up from your own inner wisdom. And that's what we did during this special event, is help people access. Because when we talked about, for me, it's I am safe. That word resonates strongly with me. It didn't resonate with a lot of the other sisters. That's not going to support them. So if I tell them, this is the affirmation that you need to use in order to realign, not go into overwhelm, stop overthinking, and allow yourself to not be twerked. Here's the affirmation, use it. If there's not alignment with your own soul, your own spirit, your own sacred language, it's not going to resonate. So metta is about taking you from that place of being twerked and just not looking at yourself from a sacred observer standpoint, realigning on your own soul's wisdom what exactly that needs to be and moving forward. So it's like taking affirmations to the 10th degree, if you will. So I hope that helps a little bit. Sherry's saying that's where people get lost with abundance. They set goals that they internally don't believe. Absolutely, absolutely. And they set them so high. I mean, I can set, each time I set my next income goal, I hit it. Because I go within and I say, okay, what's my next income goal? What resonates? What is my soul saying this is achievable in this amount of time? So yeah, absolutely. And Marie's saying bingo to Sherry, and yes, it did. Okay, great. So let me talk a little bit about the Living Your Sisterhood, and then I'll wrap up the last part of the video series. The Living Your Truth Sisterhood is a membership program. It's about helping you to start living your dreams. If you are struggling or even challenged or curious about embracing that own inner light and following it, if you are ready to fully live your truth and move forward, if you are looking to, you love your life, elevating it to love in your life. If you are looking to make major shifts in your life and transform from one place to another, Living Your Truth Sisterhood is for you, because we're doing it in alignment with your own truth. It's a place to learn new tools and to master ones you already have, to gather in as a virtual community for support. And we've been talking about support and where and how to find it for yourself. And it's a sacred group. I love my sisters in the sisterhood. It's amazing. What you get these monthly master classes. You get, there are already, I think 8 in there. The monthly master classes. And yes, you get those foundational pieces of content that we talked about. The 4-element theory, how to use it. What is your life's purpose? Your sacred soul success system. And then you get these other events. Everything that I've done in the sisterhood is already there waiting for you as a new member. We have monthly content discussions and Q&A on what is released each month. You get new master classes. But you don't just get the classes. You get a Q&A around the content. And you get to be able to ask me questions directly from content that you are working on from the past. We also have, and I love this, we have these monthly sacred soul chats together, sister chats, sacred sister chats, where we come together and address challenges and obstacles and allow you to find a place where you get new tools, you can see things a little differently, get support certainly from myself, a master soul coaching practitioner, but from everybody, because there is so much knowledge in that group. So we have those monthly sacred chats. We have creative Facebook Lives around things like the metta meditation. We also created our own princess wands one day. So there's lots in there that can help support you already, as well as continuing growth. I'm really excited about the next ideation of Living Your Truth Sisterhood. I'm going to be bringing in guest speakers on certain topics. I'm also going to be adding, because I know in my community group, people love the oracle, the one card oracle polls sporadically, and I'll be doing them more often in the Living Your Truth Sisterhood. I may not even be doing them. I used to do them monthly in the community, and I know that I just don't have the time and opportunity to do that. But I am going to be supporting the sisters in the sisterhood doing that. So the Living Your Truth Sisterhood is an amazing place to grow from your flow in life, grow and glow, and bring your purpose out and allow it to shine brighter and stronger than it has ever shined before. The Living Your Truth Sisterhood is a $27 investment each month. And I always say, that's easy to find, but some people have challenges finding it. But if this is calling to you, and that $27 is a challenge, reach out to me, because I bet you I can find the leaves on the trees that amount to that within your budget. Also, if you registered now between now and Wednesday at 10 a.m., yeah, because we're doing the 10 a.m. If you register between now and 10 a.m. on, 8 a.m., sorry, thank you, 8 a.m. on Wednesday, you will have a chance to enter a 3-month, a raffle for 3 months of membership for free. You have to register, and then you get the chance to enter into a chance for 3 months free. If you enroll by Friday at 8 a.m., I'm going to be doing a private bonus workshop for the foundational members who are already in there, and the new members who come in before Friday at 8 a.m. Closing down enrollment. I only open it occasionally throughout the year. I'm closing that down next Monday because I want to put my full focus in on the sisters who are stepping forward to live their deepest truth. So I hope that resonates with you. Marie, how do I choose my guest speakers? If you need help with the webinars, let me know. Sure. Guest speakers are those people who are in complete alignment and agreement with my message. And I have a very large collection of colleagues that I will be choosing from who are totally in alignment with my message and who support exactly what the sisters are asking for in the group. So if somebody, I love numerology and I'm pretty good at it, but I might bring a guest speaker in about numerology. I love aromatherapy. I am a certified aromatherapist, but I might bring somebody in who has even more of a depth of knowledge. So that's how I will do that. And if I need to, I absolutely will ask for support, because support is what's so important in our lives. When we feel supported, we feel like we have that foundation, that sacred space underneath us that will uplift us, that will continually help support raising our vibrations up, get us out of overwhelm, and help us to stop overthinking so that we can stop reacting to life and start responding to it. Because that's where the creme de la creme is. That's where the joy is. That's where, even when the darkest nights come to us, we can find the joy and we can find that space to fully grow and glow. And I'm not promising that life is going to be simple and unmessy. I know that life gets messy. It got messy for me this weekend, but I also know that by using the tools that I've cultivated, by creating my own success system, I am able to navigate those darker times with greater ease and allow the sun to come in so that I don't go into overwhelm. And that's what I'm sharing from the depth of my knowledge, from the depth which comes from working with, following my purpose in my life, right? I've worked with college students as a resident assistant. I've worked developing teenagers at the YMCA and cultivating other support systems within the YMCA for professionals. I've worked as a body worker for 20 years. So there's a lot of juice and knowledge coming off of each individual that I supported with the healing hands that I have, and as well as a master soul coaching practitioner and trainer. So there's a lot of support from me in the Living Your Truth Sisterhood, but there's also a lot of support from, like Sherry's been sharing some great things, and Susan is sharing some things too, about what support is. So yeah, I like the grow and glow. Find your flow so you can grow and glow, Sherry. That's one of those things that came to me in my dream state. We will be talking about dreams in the sisterhood in the future. We will be talking about mastering your mindset and clutter clearing and moon cycles. Oh, there's a great master content on how to use the moon cycles. We have a new moon today, and it's a fabulous new moon to set your sights to manifest everything that you've been working on over the last 2 weeks, and indeed over time. We have that in the sisterhood. Seeing signs from the universe. We will be doing a challenge about seeing signs from the universe and becoming your own antenna and raising your antenna up higher and higher still so that you can see those signs and follow them. We'll talk about energy strands. And, people glum to you, they attach to you. How to cut those energy strand cords and have lots of great exercises around that. So there's so many things coming, and I would love to have you along for the ride if this speaks to you. LivingYourTruthSisterhood.com. Registration is open now through next Monday. Register before Wednesday to be eligible to win 3 months for free, and by Friday to be eligible for a private group workshop, really going deep into some of the things that we've talked about over the last 4 videos. Sherry, yeah, that's great. And Sherry's saying, how did I miss it's a new moon? Yippee. Well, you didn't miss it. It's here today, right? Maybe that's one of the reasons you were on today, Sherry, that golden aha that you've received. So I hope that this has helped. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. It's way over 10:30, but I've loved being here with you today, and I hope that you are able to enjoy this New Moon Monday and go manifest. If you have any questions about Living Your Truth Sisterhood, feel free to reach out to me either at laura@soulwiseliving.com or in a private message, and I will get back to you as soon as possible, okay? So I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Monday, manifesting everything they want with this beautiful new moon energy. And I will see you soon. So keep smiling, everybody. Bye.